A Senate Armed Services Committee hearing descended into chaos Wednesday after a protester interrupted proceedings with loud objections to U.S. involvement in the escalating conflict with Iran, setting off a tense physical confrontation that resulted in his arrest and reported injuries. Please subscribe, like, and share for more updates. Thanks. The disruption unfolded roughly 25 minutes into testimony from senior Defense Department officials addressing military readiness and U.S. operations in the Middle East. Lawmakers were questioning witnesses about force posture, regional deterrence efforts, and the potential scope of American engagement when a man seated in the audience suddenly stood and began shouting. Authorities later identified the protester as Brian C. McGinnis. According to witnesses and video recordings, McGinnis loudly condemned what he characterized as U.S. intervention in a widening war with Iran, accusing members of Congress of risking American service members' lives. He repeatedly yelled anti-war slogans, including statements opposing the deployment of U.S. troops overseas. Senate committee rules strictly prohibit demonstrations inside hearing rooms, and officers with the United States Capitol Police quickly approached McGinnis, instructed him to stop and leave the chamber. When he refused, officers attempted to escort him out. Video footage shows McGinnis bracing himself against the doorway and gripping the frame as officers tried to pull him free. The struggle intensified as additional officers moved in to assist. During the scuffle, Tim Sheehy, a Republican senator from Montana and a member of the Armed Services Committee, stepped away from the dais and joined officers near the exit. Sheehy, a former Navy SEAL, helped lift and maneuver the protester toward a hallway as police worked to regain control of the situation. A sharp popping sound can be heard in video of the incident. McGinnis later claimed that his arm was injured as it became trapped against the door frame during the struggle. Capitol Police confirmed that McGinnis was taken into custody and faces charges that include unlawful demonstration and resisting law enforcement. Officials said several officers were evaluated for minor injuries following the altercation. McGinnis was transported to a hospital for medical evaluation before being processed. In a statement after the hearing, Sheehy said he intervened to assist law enforcement and ensure the safety of those in attendance. He emphasized that while Americans have a constitutional right to protest, congressional hearings are governed by strict rules designed to maintain order and protect participants. We can have passionate disagreements about policy, Sheehy said, but there's a time and place for protests. The incident comes amid heightened tensions over U.S. military strategy in the Middle East and growing public debate about the scope of American involvement in the conflict involving Iran. Lawmakers have faced mounting pressure from anti-war activists urging restraint, as well as from others calling for a stronger stance to deter regional threats. Security inside the Capitol has remained elevated in recent years due to recurring demonstrations tied to foreign policy, domestic politics, and high-profile hearings. While disruptions during committee sessions are relatively rare, Capitol Police have consistently enforced a zero-tolerance policy toward protests inside hearing rooms. After McGinnis was removed and order was restored, the Armed Services Committee resumed testimony. Senators continue questioning defense officials on troop readiness, regional alliances, and contingency planning, underscoring the seriousness of the issues under discussion even as a dramatic interruption highlighted the deep divisions surrounding U.S. foreign policy. It remains unclear whether additional security measures will be implemented for future hearings related to the conflict. Capitol officials have not announced any immediate changes, but the episode is likely to renew conversations about balancing public access to congressional proceedings with maintaining safety and decorum.